Hello, welcome to Cover 2 TV. I'm Chris Paydeck, that's Ste Jenno, and that's Tom Jennings, and we are here for the second time in a week, all three of us. Harshal, I hope you're made up, mate. We're going to talk about the Minnesota Vikings first, but here's how I'm going to introduce it. We are going to talk about the division-topping 7-2 Minnesota Vikings versus the division-topping LA Rams at 7-2. In week 11, am I right in saying, of the NFL season?
You're right in saying, yeah.
That's a little bit nuts, and I feel slightly uncomfortable saying it.
It goes to show that NFL seasons exist as single entities, and all the predictions in the world and everything else. I mean, in our preview show, we didn't even really preview the Rams because we thought they had no chance, and here they are, week 11, one of the best teams in the league. It just shows, like, NFL seasons are just mad, and they're not like, Premier League football seasons or whatever, where the same teams are always around. Don't get me wrong, you do get that. His team, for example, are always there or thereabouts. But there's always someone who rises up. You know what I mean? It's not like
Falcons.
Oh,
right. Rise up.
Hashtag rise up. But they're a perfect example last year. You know what I mean? And the Rams and the Vikings are both 7-2, and they're two of the best teams in the league. And like I say, we would never have predicted that in a million years. So I'm looking forward to this game.
It is nuts, isn't it? And listen, obviously I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. Tom, Jenno, it's so weird calling you Tom then, I'm going to go back to Jenno. But I am excited to see this Rams offense because they're an exciting football team.
Yeah, the Rams have just been putting up numbers on everyone, which is just mad because that was the most anti thing. Jeff Fisher didn't like scoring more than 16 points. If he scored more than 16 points, I think he kicked off on his offense or something. I don't know. He just didn't see that as a real thing. But now they're just lighting it up. I mean, you got people like Woods taking screen passes on 3rd and 30 and taking it for a touchdown, which is just unbelievable. I mean, you got Buffalo Bills cast-offs, and Buffalo Bills didn't have a good offense. Those wide receivers are looking like one of the best wide receiving core in the league, maybe only second to the Vikings. So, and then you got Todd Gurley, who's looking back when he's not running, what was it that he called it, was a secondary school offense or something like that. And Jared Goff actually looks like a quarterback, which last season everyone said he's not ready. Turned out he wasn't ready, but that season bedding in, he's now looking like a real superstar.
And Steve, just talk about some of the plays that this offense have been making at the moment. You think jet sweeps, you think there's a little bit of West Coast offense, there's a little bit of power running game. He's nicking plays off Andy Reid and having Todd Gurley run down the seam on a jet sweep. And there's just so many different facets to this offense. He is not above ripping a play from anybody and using it if he thinks it works for his team. Yeah,
absolutely. And like I say, if he uses Tavon Austin in a better way than, Tavon Austin's ridiculously overpaid for what he is. He's not a great wide receiver, but he's very much a gadget player. And you're paying him that much money, you get the best out of him. And you can get the best out of him without even giving him the ball, and that's what they do. They send the misdirection, so they might do on the jet sweeps, and before you know it, Todd Gurley's got it, or he's dumped it off to Woods, or he's dumped it off to the tight end and stuff. So I'm intrigued to see how Minnesota stop that, or can they stop that for a start. No one else has really been able to stop it. Even last week I mentioned Houston had a very good start to the game, and the Rams checked on straight away, and they changed their play straight away, and they got Gurley more in space, like I mentioned. They got Woods more involved because Jadeveon Clowney was killing them, and that's what I'm interested in, because the Vikings should dominate the defensive line, the line of scrimmage, especially if Griffin plays, which it looks like he's going to. So I'm interested. Obviously, they're going to have to get the ball out of Goff's hands quickly, and they've shown a willingness to do it. And I'll tip my hand now. I've picked the Rams in this game, which is again is a surprise for some, because I just think they're rolling and they're beating good defenses, and I think they're going to beat another good defense. If I'm honest, I think it'll be a very, very good game. But I just fancy them to outscore the Vikings. I don't know if the Vikings can go back to back as good as they were last week.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what about you?
I've went for the Vikings. I think we're going to see a shootout again, but I just think it's the stops on the fourth down and that where the Vikings just seem to have that extra bit when they need it in the defence. I think and also that's another thing that no one's really talking about. The Rams defence now under Wade Phillips is now looking like it had a shaky start, but is now looking really strong. But I believe in this Vikings team. I'm actually so impressed by it, and I can't believe I'm saying it. I never believe in the Vikings.
You've got to, mate.
Yeah, mate, they've been amazing. I am going to pick the Rams for this game because I'm
reverse jinx.
What I've done all season long. But you know what? I would be really interested. I am really interested to see how we fare up against this offense because I was having a conversation with Ian Newbury, friend of the show, on Twitter, and he was unsure about the Vikings day. I think it's legitimate. I think it's absolutely brilliant. How you know Harrison Smith's going to match up. He's going to be key again. He always is key for us. Obviously, we've got Everson Griffin there, Trey Waynes, Rhodes. These great players, and they are going to be matched up, and they're going to find a way to get to the quarterback as well from mad angles. I think it's important that Zimmer keeps up the pressure on that young quarterback and Jared Goff and make sure he goes after him. I think it'll be down to the protection of the quarterback. I think if Minnesota do get pressure, we'll get a good victory in the bag. But I am picking the Rams.
Yeah, and I suppose the final one is like you mentioned, the Rams defense. The offense is getting loads of credit and rightly so, but the defense has improved, and Aaron Donald's just taking over every single game he plays at the moment. He might not get every single sack, but he's constantly in the backfield all the time. And Pat Elflein had a really good game, I thought, against Washington. I thought he was really, really good, but this is a whole new ball game now. This is like Aaron Donald, who's monstering people, and I just wonder if you can get pressure on Case Keenum down the middle, and if you can get contained on the edges, which the Rams can do, for sure. The likes of Ogletree will pass rush from the edge, they do be able to, Quinn, they can do it. And they might ask Case Keenum to beat them in the pocket, and he's shown that he can do that, by all means, and listen, he's got two amazing wide receivers, so he could. I'm just not too sure.
You're forgetting one thing. Case Keenum's the best quarterback in the league.
I'm forgetting that Case Keenum's the best quarterback in the league, yeah. And Jared Goff might be the second best quarterback in the league. The world's gone nuts.
But also, like, seriously, we've got a fullback called CJ Ham, and when he's been in the game, we've been much better and stuff, and he's decent at protection and pass blocking.
You probably will see a lot.
And that will have to be the case, I think, against that defence and stuff. So, and then you've got McKinnon, you've got Murray as well, who can affect the running game. So we've got
basically covered, aren't they?
Yeah, we are, and as Jenno said earlier on in the show, I think it will be a shootout as well.
Should be a good game, really good game.
Just one question though, what would it take for you to put Teddy Bridgewater in?
Case Keenum to be crap.
Yeah, but what's his rope? Was it like 2 interceptions?
Look, if he keeps winning games, it's fine for me, and I think that's it. He's got to bring home W's. And if he keeps bringing on W's, we'll be absolutely sound. He can eat them if he wants. He can eat them if he wants.
Jameis Winston style.
Yeah,
I don't think they would bench him mid-game. I think he'd have to have a really bad game, get out of it, and then he can make a decision. I think it'd be difficult to throw Teddy with Bridgewater in mid-game, especially as he hasn't played for ages. I think that would be a big risk.
It's 21 months or something.
That'd be a huge. I think you'd want to game plan knowing he's going to be the starter rather than just throwing him in. But again,
I suppose the other thing is, we might get to a position later on in the season where the last 2 games don't matter for us, and at that point you get Bridgewater some minutes, and then there's serious questions. But to be honest with you, I think this Viking side needs those questions. I think they should be parked for now. If Case Keenum and the offense stop making yards and stop making and putting up points, then absolutely ask the question. But why ask it right now?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we'll move on then. Your team, it's the New England Patriots at the Oakland Raiders in Mexico.
It's not at Oakland, it's at Mexico City, isn't it? New England should win this game. I think New England...
Sorry, is that your team?
New England are far the better team. It's not my team.
No? Jenno?
Well, we're actually going to talk about the actual best quarterback
in the
league.
It's fine. Yeah,
the actual best quarterback in the league, and I just think we've seen that this Oakland defence was what we were worried about. Even coming off the bye, I think the Patriots are going to shred it to pieces. I think we're going to see Patriots go away from home and absolutely annihilate them, like they've done both times they went to London.
Yeah. Why do you think the Patriots have been so good away from home?
It's just Tom Brady. It's all hard. No, mate, he is playing better than I've ever seen him play. This is his best. Since 2007, he's better now than he was last year and the year before. He is out of this world good. He's defying logic. It's just mental. And people are talking about MVP races and Carson Wentz and Jared Goff and Alex Smith. It's Tom Brady by a country mile. He is so good at the moment, and it's pre-snap. He's just finding easy. I mentioned it the other day, the touchdown against Denver, where they send Gronk down the middle, and Brady knows if the linebacker follows Gronk, I'll dump it to Burkhead. If the linebacker doesn't follow Gronk, I'll just throw it to Gronk one-on-one. How do you stop that as a defence?
Well, 3 of them actually went to Gronk.
That's what I'm saying. So you just leave it. But if you don't send 3 of them to Gronk, then Gronk's going to win every catch. Yeah. So it's almost indefensible, and that's what they've got in their locker.
How many pieces does Brady need to lose before he can't win games? Is it simple as Gronk at this point?
No, because I still remember 13 when he was thrown to Adam Dobson and Adam Dobson
But he had
alone.
And did he have Lafellas, the other wide receiver?
No, it was Kendall Tompkins.
But he had an offensive line. I think if he's got an offensive line, you can have anyone. If he's protected for a couple of seconds, if his line is absolute trash like it was 2 years ago in Denver, when it was it's got its arse kicked in and Von Miller took over the game, then he can't win. But other than that, he's fine. Because he doesn't need you to be so athletic to beat your man every single time. Because he gets you open pre-snap. Because he's so good at it, and that's what he's doing. These lads, it's people think like, oh, they go to the Patriots and they're brilliant and they raise their game. They don't. They just get put in positions where it's pretty easy for them to succeed. And that's what it is. You know, Rex Burkhead's a good player. He's not a great player, but he's going to look better. The only great players they've got Gronk and Cooks potentially. The rest of them are just lads, you know what I mean? What's the difference between James White and Jared McKinnon? There's nothing. It's just that they get put in such good positions, and I agree, this Raiders defence is trash. It's absolute garbage, and they've had a week off, so maybe they can figure something out.
Who was the Patriot this week talking about Belichick and talking about being able to be put into positions to succeed? Did you see this article? I think it was on SI.com, maybe, or something like that. And he was just talking about how when you go to some teams, you'll fit into their system, but when you go to the Patriots, they just go, "What are you good at? All right, we'll just get you doing that then."
It's like it's basically Heath Evans constantly talks about it if you ever watch NFL.com, and that's what we do. We just see what you can do. Oh, Chris Hogan, you're open all the time because you understand how to get open in zones. Sad, we're just going to get you open in zones and throw it to you. We're not going to ask you to run down and then make a contested catch. That's not your skill set. And that's what they do very well. They find players who they know they can do something with. Even if like James White doesn't run very well through the tackles or even outside, he's not very explosive, but he's excellent at running out the backfield and catching the ball. So that's what he does. Comes in on third down.
How do Oakland win this game? We focused a lot on the Patriots and we always seem to. How do Oakland win this game, and can they win this game realistically? Yeah,
of course they can, because they've got an offense for a start. You know, they can, if it's a shootout, they can match the Patriots in a shootout. I think. You know, they haven't got obviously the quarterbacks in a different level, but they've got two very good wide receivers. They got Marshawn Lynch going in the last game. The offensive line's pretty good. They've got a very good tight end, so they can there. You know, they could go toe for toe, and the Patriots defense still isn't that good. If I'm honest, you know, it's improved from the beginning of the season because it was an absolute mess, and it hasn't scored. Sorry, they haven't conceded too many points recently, but a lot of that has been down to the offense taking, you know, catching on fire, or special teams, which the Patriots are amazing at, you know, helping them out and stuff. But the Oakland offense is still good players, you know what I mean? And we saw Emmanuel Sanders just have Malcolm Butler on toast, and you could. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that Amari Cooper or Michael Crabtree can do the same, because they're equally as good players, provided, you know, he catches the ball. Amari Cooper, because he's got a habit of not doing that. But if it's a low-scoring game, I think you'd fancy Tom Brady. But if they can actually just force it to be, you know, blow for blow and see what happens, then they do have a chance.
Jenno, as a Patriots fan, if you were scheming for this Oakland offense, where would you be targeting?
Well, see, all I would do, it's very simple. I'd stick Gilmore on Crabtree, because that's where the contested catches are going for. You want the bigger guy. And then I don't think Amari Cooper's a good enough route runner, so I'll put Malcolm Butler on it, because that's when Malcolm Butler gets unstuck.
Flip race. If you wanted to win as the Oakland Raiders, how would you do that?
I'd flip that round then, and I'd go the other way.
You try and get Crabtree. I would try and get Crabtree against Butler, because I think he'll win it. And then I would try and get Cooper on Gilmore, because he probably can blow past him a little bit. Gilmore's had a pretty average season. I think he hasn't been worth the big money. He
hasn't, but I think that's a lot of that was communication issues in the Patriots defence. Now that seems to be reducing, but that's how they've got to do it.
And I think you need a big Marshawn Lynch game as well. I think C.J. Anderson got a bit of success last week, unfortunately.
Whenever I was watching it, you were talking 5-6 yards a carry.
Yeah, we still don't play with any linebackers. I mean, Kyle Van Noy is playing well, but it's not down to Hightower. And even though people are talking how well he's playing, seems to be making plays, a lot of them, when it's 5 yards deep, he's making plays, it's not 3 yards deep. So, and then Landon Roberts, I don't think is the player people thought he was going to be. So we don't play with linebackers. So if you can get the run game going, you can get back when early start of the season when they had Lynch and Rashad and the other guy were all running amok, then Basically, you've got to establish the run game to keep the Patriots off guard. That's how you've got to do it.
Okay. Well, we'll move on then.
Are we all picking the Patriots, sorry?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It almost goes without saying, doesn't it, really?
Okay, we'll move on then. Philadelphia Eagles at Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, still loads of controversy around the Cowboys, more around their owner, Jerry Jones, and obviously Roger Goodell and stuff like that. But, you know, this side, Zeke Elliott's not going to be playing in the game.
Shame, innit?
Yeah, absolute shame. Seemed to have a little bit of a wobble last week. Atlanta Falcons smashed them. Is this one as simple as the Eagles' victory?
I think they'll win, but listen, it's a road division game against a pretty good team. Unfortunately, at the minute, Dallas are very beat up. If Tyron Smith doesn't play, I mean, I'm really worried for them because God knows what they're going to do at left tackle.
I mean, they were just...
He looks like he could be back. He's 50-50 still. Obviously, we know Zeke isn't playing, which, like I say, is a shame. And Sean Lee's not going to play like he never does. I don't know how Dallas are going to keep up scoring wise. I think the Eagles are going to score on them quite often as well. I'd be surprised if they didn't get upwards of 28 points. Can Dallas do that? Yes, I think they can, but I'm not sure they will.
They need a perfect game to do that almost, don't they?
They need someone to take over the game.
Do you think it could be, Jenno, do you think there's an option for trying to control the clock and trying to control possession with Morris and McFadden and maybe try and just keep it a low scoring game?
Well, I mean, there's the option for that, but judging by what they went with the Falcons, McFadden got one snap, and
it was Rod Smith.
And he went Rod Smith, which pretty much revealed that they're passing it every down. And if you want to reveal that you're passing it every down to this Philadelphia defensive line, go ahead, lads. I mean, it's not going to work out well for you, and Dak's going to get sacked a lot again, especially if Smith doesn't play. So I can't actually see anything but a Philly blowout. This is just all I can see, because I just think I think the defense is not good enough to contain Philadelphia, and the offense without Zeke, and unless they really put Alfred Morris in passing situations just to disguise it, I don't see how they're going to win.
They would have to have Dez. Philadelphia's corners aren't brilliant. So Dez or Beasley or Williams, someone would have to take advantage of that.
These are guys that haven't had massive games this season though so far, are they? Few and far between. I mean, these are big names in American football, but I genuinely believe that they're big names because they play for the Cowboys.
Yeah, but I mean, we have this. We have the Dez conversation. I don't think Beasley and Williams are anything special. I think Dez can be. I think he's hurt for a start. He only just played last week and he was limping about. But the main issue is is Dak going to have enough time? Because, like you say, the line, which is it's crazy saying it, but the Cowboys line gave up far too much pressure. You'd think that would be okay if Smith plays, but even then it wouldn't be.
Well, you had a bit of a rant about it, about not bringing anyone over.
If he doesn't play and they don't do that again, then I'd just sack Jason Garrett the next day. If I was Jerry Jones, I'd forget. I'm bitching about Roger Goodell for half an hour and just sack him, because otherwise my quarterback might die. So hopefully, I hope on their behalf that if Smith doesn't play, they have a bit of a plan to stop whether it's Vinnie Curry or Fletcher Cox or Graham or whoever's over there. There's so many of them that I hope they do. But listen, the Philly offense is rolling. Wentz is having just an absolute storm in year. They've got a running game, they've got the wide receivers. Zach Ertz is playing as well as any tight end in the league, and as we just mentioned, Sean Smith's missing, so the middle of the field's going to be open.
Certainly.
So I think I've got to go Philly. I think it'd be mad not to, and I think in the end I think they're going to win handy.
Okay, we'll move on then. Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, absolutely. Atlanta Falcons, Seattle Seahawks. I'll go first on this one. I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to make another sneaky little victory. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, under 20 points. Seattle somehow get it out the bag, as they normally do. Big concerns, obviously, Sherman's going to be missing for the game. I'm interested to see how this defence stacks up, to be perfectly honest with you. I think they've obviously got injuries at the moment, but you say it all the time, Steve, Russell Wilson's magic, and he'll find a way to win this game.
Yeah, he should, shouldn't he? Julio Jones had success against Seattle in the past. He's one of the few wide receivers who's gone against the Legion of Boom and done really well. And now
Does anyone know if Earl Thomas is back for this game?
He should be back.
I was thinking he will be back, isn't this the Monday night game?
Yeah, there's talk that there was talk he could have played the other day, but he held him back, so I think he should be. If he plays, it's huge, isn't he? Without him, he would not.
They're just not the same.
Yeah, they'd be struggling. But
I think they'll miss him more than they'll miss Sherman.
Yeah,
because Sherman has taken a bit of a drop off.
He's still great, but They need that safety.
Yeah, you see people get numbers against Sherman now. It's 2-3 years ago, even further back. That just didn't happen.
It was almost like Sherman Island, wasn't it? Like Reeves used to do. I think Julio should have an absolute storming game in this one. That's how Atlanta can win. Just keep chucking it to Julio because I'd fancy him. I imagine it'd be Griffin, and it looks like it's going to be either Lane or Maxwell on the other side, which that shouldn't frighten Julio Jones. You know, they're not. That isn't Richard Sherman. You know what I mean? It's a different level. It's decent or below average quarterbacks. You know.
Does this mean that they're going to need some pressure from Bennett or something on the defensive line?
Oh, they're going to have to. If they don't get pressure on Matt Ryan, they'll lose. But I think they're going to win because I think they will get pressure on Matt Ryan and I think they'll stop the run. Bobby Wagner's playing out of this world again. Bennett's playing well. You know, for some Dwight Freeney's there. That's a thing.
But the thing is, he comes in, he puts his spin move on, he gets a sack and he goes out the game, and that's him done. And you're like, yeah, fair play. You've been doing that for a long time, my friend.
Freeman's in the concussion protocol as we speak, so he might not play, which is obviously a loss for Atlanta. And I just think going into Seattle at prime time on a Monday night's hard for anyone, and I that's why I've picked them. But there's certainly a way Atlanta can win, and it's score 23 points, 24 points. Because
do you think the stadium, Jenno, is going to have an effect on this game? Obviously, Atlanta coming from a dome
where they pump noise into distract teams. You know, let's not lie that they definitely do that and even caught doing that. I think the stadium, the noise matters because that's when you're trying to make the pre-snap reads and trying to tell your offense where to go. It does matter. And I just think the Atlanta offense, I think it's good, but I just see this being a low score and sneaky win by Seattle. I think Russell Wilson does just make those few plays on that 1 or 2 drives, and I think Atlanta they're going to take field goals in this game. I think that's where they're going to fall apart because I don't think field goals are going to be good enough to beat them.
Keep an eye on Jimmy Graham. He's having a really sneaky good red zone season.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
He's catching a lot of touchdowns, and I think
I gave him away after 2 weeks in my fantasy footy, thinking I watched the first Seattle game. I was like, he's not getting involved in this, and I was like, I've got to make decisions this season. And this is my hard decision I'm going to make, and I made a terrible decision.
He's a big, he's a big fan of catching touchdowns as well, and you've let him go. I think it might be worth putting a bit of a tip on him to maybe score once or twice. Okay. I certainly will be.
How did you do in last weekend's one?
I'm betting?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't win.
No. My boy let you down, did he?
Leonard Fournette let me down. Didn't play, did he?
No.
It's what it is.
Oh well. Okay. Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Titans, Steelers. Who are you going for in this game, Steel?
Steelers at home. I think it was on the road. I had to pick Tennessee, but Steelers at home on a short week. I think that gives them a huge advantage. They're a very good home team, and Tennessee, while Tennessee are good, I don't think they're great, and I think the Steelers are looking like they could be great.
Yeah, but for Steelers as well, at home, I fancy the Steelers. It's away from home when they shit the bed, but like at home, I think they'll have too much for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I'm not going to add too much on that one. I think it's going to be a Pittsburgh. I do think it's going to be a low scorer again, probably decided by less than 7 points. Detroit, Chicago, Jenno.
I've got Detroit. I think Matt Stafford's going to destroy them.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy, really, isn't it? Let's be honest. Detroit are going to score points on Chicago.
I don't know. I picked Detroit, but I think Chicago are better at home than people are giving them credit for. The defense is really good. The problem is, at the minute, Mitch Trubisky is great on the run. He throws well on the run, but that's all they've got.
That's all he can do, though. He can't stand in the pocket.
Exactly, and I think I agree that the Detroit defense, actually, the corners are playing pretty well. Darius Slay is one of the best players no one ever talks about, and I think he might pick Trubisky off once or twice. So I have gone, but I don't think it's going to be like a blowout win. I mean, the Detroit showed the other day that they let the Browns hang around at home, so I think they'll win, but I don't think it'll be comfortable. Okay,
Jacksonville Jaguars, Cleveland Browns.
I think this one will be comfortable.
Yeah, you going Jacksonville as well? Yeah. Everybody going Jacksonville?
They're going to run all over. Leonard Fournette in this game, he's going to run all over them, and Deshaun Kaiser is going to get sacked like at least five times. It's just I think Saxonville against the guy who holds the ball too long.
Yeah, I think this, like Jacksonville, all points are going to come from defense. So no offensive points. All of them.
Is that because Bortles is giving the ball back to Cleveland?
That's because Bortles doing his new plan, which I'll throw you the ball and let my defense beat you.
I think it's a good plan. And if, you know what, if they've got a good defense, so that will definitely work. Okay, we'll move on then. An interesting game actually for me, Ravens, Packers. See, I want to get your take on this one first.
Yeah, what do you want to
know? Who's going to win?
Green Bay.
Really?
Why not? The Ravens' offense is garbage as well, so it's going to be two poor offenses. Hundley looked a bit better the other day. He looked like he's willing to go downfield. He got the ball out a little bit quicker because he's got a really bad habit of just holding on to it, tapping the ball, which never works well. But listen, if mad enough, Green Bay win this, just looking at the standards, if Green Bay can win this, they go to 6-4.
That's madness.
I think it's a must-win game for them. If they've got any hope of trying to stay alive until Rodgers might come back, there's talk he could come back maybe week 13, I think, 14. They've got maybe, I don't know, it might be a bit too much for them.
They've just got to stay alive, haven't they? Actually, that's really interesting. I've not realised that, but, Vikings probably got the hardest game out of all three of them so far. For this week, certainly, you could be looking at 2 6-4 teams versus a 7-3 team in that division.
Yeah, for sure. And the Packers
terrifies me, which was why I actually do think it's going to be the Packers win as well, to be honest.
But what I would say is that they've got the experienced defence that can just shut the run the game down. And if Alex Collins has a good day, maybe. But I just don't fancy Joe Flacco at the minute on the road.
I actually do fancy the Ravens to win this. It was a bit of a flip of the coin. And I just thought I would take the Ravens defence over that Packers offence because I just don't trust it.
Yeah. We've got no running backs.
Okay, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jenno versus the Miami Dolphins.
Who cares?
It's
like 6 people on the west coast of England. 3 of them being here, 2 of them being here, maybe just me.
Fuck this game. I hate Miami at the minute. They've let me down. They've scorned me. Jay Cutler,
Is it because you wanted Ajayi to be one of the best running backs in the league?
I picked them to go to the playoffs and they're just crap. They keep just getting beat loads.
They could actually win this game because Tampa's crap and be 6-4.
I've picked Miami, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
I'm going with Tampa just because I hate Miami.
Miami, that's it. But no, I'm not.
How do you analyse that game?
Don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay, we'll move it on then. Listen,
don't even put it on red zone.
Listen, come on.
No, I don't care.
Dolphins, a storied franchise.
Yeah, sound. Go for that.
It's sad what's happening to that franchise.
Yeah, it's a shame.
The Bucks? Yeah. Okay, we'll move on then. Redskins, Saints. I'll go Saints on this. I think the offense is going to have too much once again. Listen, everybody knows I like Kirk Cousins and I think he's a good quarterback and stuff, but that Saints defence has been playing lights out football. The offense has been playing lights out football, and the Redskins have been losing close games. And because of that, I can't see any other winner.
Saints going to run all over them at home. Yeah, would you?
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints, but I do want to point out this is the best quarterback. Where everyone's saying how good the Saints defence have played, they've been playing absolute garbage quarterbacks. So at least Kirk Cousins should be able to see whether they are legitimate.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they have had an easy run there.
Okay, Kansas City. Yeah. Arizona versus Houston.
Kansas City, I mean,
Stop, mate. That was it. That was all of us going for Kansas City.
Yeah. Are the Giants the worst team in the league?
I think so.
No.
Because the 0-8 San Francisco 49ers beat them.
It's the Browns or the Giants,
I still think the Browns are the worst team in the league.
I think.
Imagine being in that conversation.
Imagine the Giants being in that conversation.
I think them to go to the playoffs as well.
I point this out. I think the 2008 Detroit Lions would beat both of these teams.
Yeah. Yeah, they never would get you.
Okay, so we'll go on then. Arizona, Houston.
I've picked Arizona, but I don't know.
Yeah.
What
do you think about the quarterback play?
Which one?
Arizona's.
Drew Stanton's.
It's going to be Blaine Gabbert.
Is it?
Wow.
I think so. From what I read the other day.
It might be.
Well, it's not. I'm not putting me out and say this is definitely going to be one. But I read the other day, Blaine Gabbert's taking a lot of first team reps.
Either way, I'd trust him over Tom Savage, because Tom Savage, if you watch Tom Savage on slow motion, you think he might be a good quarterback, but then you realise you're not watching on slow motion. That's actually his speed. He's got the frame, he's got the, his technique looks amazing, but it is like watching it, and everyone else is
stop motion.
Honestly, it's ridiculous. It's like everyone's. I've seen those like music videos when people are whizzing past, there's a guy from Coldplay just walking down the street.
Every 90s music video ever.
That's what it is. People are just rushing around him, and he's like, no, I'm going to take this. He is just a strip sack waiting to happen. Yeah. Put your life on Arizona defence scoring a touchdown, because they are going to. And Adrian Peterson might have a really good day.
Okay. Yeah, Adrian Peterson took that week off where he had the bad week, so you should be ready for this week for him to run everywhere.
Okay, I'm going for Arizona as well. Chargers, Bills. Now, Taylor's not going to be playing in this game.
They've dropped Tyrod Taylor for Nate Peterman, so I'm picking the Chargers because Peterman might be good, he might not be, but I think a rookie on the road in his first game against Joey Bosa and against Melvin Ingram.
What have they said as the reason to why they've dropped him for this guy now?
Officially, they just said it, was good for the team. Apparently, he's just basically, we can't throw from the pocket. And that's what it is. And it's weird with Tyrod Taylor because if you look at his numbers, they stack up to pretty much everyone. I've seen clips where he's matched up well to the likes of Mariota and Winston. He's on level in terms of all his stats. But then you watch the games and you're like, this fella just can't throw it. And maybe they've just decided, you know what, after a couple of bad losses, we need to do something. Let's just try and G us up. I don't know, I think.
But I've not watched the Bills for probably maybe 3 weeks now since I've sat down and watched them, so maybe I've missed a couple of the bad losses and stuff, but everything they got was from him scrambling around and making plays.
Yeah, it was.
Now, I don't see that team's set up for a pocket passer. I think, I'm not sure the guys get open well enough for that.
The only other theory, Chris, could be they want to have a look at Peterman before they go into the draft next year. Because they've got 2 first-round picks.
But they're 5-4, they're second in the division. Admittedly, it is behind the Patriots and stuff. They're 5-4, and yet you've got quarterbacks playing for 1 of 9 teams who are keeping the job. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, well, the thing I think it might be is offensive coordinators believe that their scheme will win, and Tyrod Taylor can't execute their offensive coordinators'
So it's
scheme.
the egotistical nature of the
well, not
offensive
egotistical, because they don't look that good. They've been getting blown out a lot. They started off well, now people are finding them out very quickly. So maybe he's thinking that this other quarterback's going to be able to run his scheme and that'll win them the games. And then he's going to find out that, no, it's going to just run into Joey Bosa.
I saw him Peterman in college and I thought he's good at he gets the ball out quick.
Does he?
Yeah, but who's he getting the ball out quick to? That's the issue here.
Benjamin.
That's what you don't get the ball out quick to Calvin Benjamin, do you? Because he'll be 1 yard past the line of scrimmage. doesn't go anywhere quickly, does he? No. That's the issue. Unless it's loaded dump offs to McCoy, which might work, but I've got to pick.
Is that what they're looking for? They're just looking for a game manager.
It's got to, McCoy. I think what it is exactly what Jenno said. They've got a scheme, and Tyrod Taylor doesn't stick to it because he runs around too much, and you can live with that if it's Russell Wilson or it's Aaron Rodgers who play off scheme. But they're fucking good, and Tyrod Taylor's not. So maybe it is just a case of, mate, I'm sick of watching you run around 5 yards and then get sacked.
Okay, Chargers.
Yeah,
Chargers. Okay, last game then.
That's a bad decision.
Cincinnati.
Unless the Charger.
Cincinnati, Denver Broncos.
Oh, what a terrible game. I've gone the Broncos at home just because I think that their defense might finally show up, but. This could be the Bengals. I wouldn't be hugely surprised.
I went for the Broncos. I think that Cincinnati's offensive line's terrible, which means that Von Miller's going to put pressure on Dalton. Dalton's going to panic, and that's when you're going to hit the no-fly zone with a few interceptions. Hang on a minute.
Andy Dalton panicking? Are you sure? Is that what he does?
No, how is it 2017 and we've got Andy Dalton against fucking Brock Osweiler? We've got Jay Cutler against Ryan Fitzpatrick. How's this happened? What the fuck? What's going on in here? All these... We've got Blake Bortles against the Sean Kaiser. What's going on in the league? Case Keenum's good. The world's gone mad. It's 2000... Brock Osweiler's playing at NFL.
2017 and the Vikings have got 3 of the best quarterbacks in the fucking league. What's going on here, lads?
Honestly, it's gone mad. I just don't know what to say anymore. I'll pick Denver, but I don't know.
I am going to say that it's the Bengals that win out in this one.
Why not?
And I don't know why.
Who cares?
I'm just going to pick.
There's way too much orange in this game for anyone to care.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be horrible. Horrible. Is that colour rush over now?
On a Sunday, it wouldn't be on today, but it's going to be the Bengals in that black and orange against the orange. Oh, it's going to be sick. I don't even want to...
Let's call it a day there then. There's our picks. Oh, Marshall, how did he do? He's behind me.
And Callum went 13-1.
13-1. The only game he got wrong was the Cowboys-Falcons game as well, which I think everybody got wrong that week. So incredible by you,
Lee still
my
top
friend
though.
Lee J. Reynolds is his
Still
top. 40 points. I've got you in my sights, mate. Jenno's catching up on me, I think. Yeah. Steve's playing the game as well. He's a little bit far behind. But in fairness, you just forgot to put your picks in.
I did. I've done that.
You've got to be in it to win it, Steve.
Listen,
you're still in it.
No, I'm not. That's on me.
Yeah.
I'll hold my hand to him and say, you know what, I forgot. And you know what, it's the taking part that counts. No.
And just a little question for Jenno. This is following on from a Redmen conversation that we've had this afternoon in the office and stuff. And apologies, Steno, you've got to go and that. And you, Jenno, you've got to go to bed, which is weird because it's like 7:30. But would you rather have leg-sized fingers or finger-sized legs, Joe?
Leg-sized fingers.
Leg-sized fingers. See, that's the three of us there, but the lads in the office were adamant that they'd spoken about this at length, and I think
It's actually finger-sized legs.
Yeah.
Because imagine walking around with massive big leg fingers.
No, because like you rotate, wouldn't you?
You'd have to, I don't know, it'd be
You'd
hard.
rotate.
You'd have to do handstands. But
Rotate?
how would you like write?
Hang on, how would you rotate?
Like I'd get bored, like just start hopping on me like finger-sized legs and shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I imagine for a week it'd be fun until it like becomes impossible to do anything.
Off camera.
But think of your, like, I've got pretty girthy legs, and so Ste, in fairness as well. Having legs our size, having fingers the size of our legs, and 5 of them, let's count the thumb as a finger in this instance, on each of them, would be horrendous. I mean, what would that do to your arms and your back?
You'd have an arm like Popeye, wouldn't you? And it has to be finger-sized legs, and you have to just get a wheelchair and live. You could cope. You couldn't cope with leg-sized fingers. I mean, I couldn't open a door.
To be fair,
I just turn the key.
the more I think about this, the more that you've already quickly convinced me that was actually the stupid way to be. And it would be.
Don't worry, we were totally like arguing for 30 minutes about it, and then someone, I can't remember, it was something to do, it was probably wanking.
You said
As soon as they said you couldn't wank, lad, I was like, okay, so I'm done.
Yeah.
On that note,
We are done.
bye.